Hey, what is up, guys? This is Bo, or Carl Hungus712, and today we're taking on our next week in the Minnesota Vikings franchise against the Atlanta Falcons. Make sure if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. Like I said, keep expecting more Madden videos to keep coming out. If you're into any shooters or anything like that, I also upload and stream those as well. Also, if you'd like to check out my live streams I sometimes live stream over on Twitch. Same name as well, CarlHungus712. But again, today we're gonna. Oh wow, that's a pretty good start already. First play picking off Matt Ryan. But we're going to continue here with the Vikings franchise. Tomorrow I'm going to be getting into, like I said, I'm going to do the Jets or Washington. And then I also thought about maybe doing a kind of a popular team, like maybe the Buccaneers or something like that with Brady. Going through the franchise with one of those teams. So let me know in the comment section how your guys' franchises are going. Always like reading your comments, kind of seeing how everybody else is doing. Hear about all the stupid little glitches and stuff that we see in Madden every year. So, hopefully one of these days we'll get those ironed out, or maybe get NFL 2K back into the mix. Maybe that competition will help EA fix some of these issues. But I don't foresee that happening anytime soon. But it would be kind of nice. Oh, he didn't quite get in, did he? No. It was a good play. But, of course, the Vikes this week lost another heartbreaker against... I feel like I say that every week with Minnesota, but it's kind of a rough week again for us Viking fans. Of course, Atlanta came out, and they looked basically... Wow, he caught that. Nice catch. But basically, Atlanta came out, they looked kind of how I think most people expected them to look, this year. Obviously, they have a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. With Matt Ryan still, not at the end of his career, obviously still has life left in him. They're a great receiving core and everything. I don't think anybody expected them to be 0-5 or, winless at this point in the season. So, of course, they fired Dan Quinn. Of course, their interim coach is now Raheem Morris, who coached down in Tampa Bay for a little while. And I think he did a pretty good job for a couple of seasons down there. I think they had some decent teams. I think that was during the Josh Freeman days, if I remember correctly. And they came out and they looked good. First, what is it, the first play or first pass? Kirk Cousins throws the interception. And then it's just kind of downhill after that. And... that's kind of how Minnesota's been over the last few years. I don't know if it's a coaching problem. I don't know if it's a player issue. But it just seems like with Minnesota, if they kind of start off in the hole, or just, as long as everything's kind of firing on all cylinders, they're fine. But if they have just a little bit of adversity in the game, they just crumble. And, like I said, I've been wondering if that's, like I said again, if that's a coaching thing or a player thing. I don't know what it is, but hopefully they figure it out. But like I said, Atlanta, I don't think they're technically out of the race. I mean, pretty much they've got to win out. Any of the Atlanta fans watching, same thing with my Vikings. They gotta win out. If they want to have a chance at doing anything this season. I just don't see that happening, obviously, on Minnesota's side. But we'll see what happens. Of course, playing Atlanta today, obviously, I'm worried about, their receivers and everything. So I'm glad I went out and got the corners I did in free agency before the year started. Oh, I jumped too quick there. But as long as I can get some pressure on Matt Ryan, which I've been able to so far at the start of this game, and kind of control the clock on the offensive side of the ball, I think I'll be pretty successful against Atlanta today. Actually, didn't bother to look. I'm not sure what Atlanta's record is on franchise right now. Of course, if all of you've been watching, or who's ever watched my previous videos, you know that right now I'm undefeated with the Vikes. Like I said, I don't think I would be if it wasn't for going out and getting some of the cornerbacks that I did and shoring up the defensive line a little bit. I think that's really helped out a lot. Of course, Suggs and Delvin Cook, obviously, they got a couple more weeks here. I'm really looking forward to getting Suggs back because before he got hurt, you'll see in some of the earlier videos in the season, he was putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, kind of moved him inside as a defensive tackle. And like I said, he was doing a phenomenal job. So. Hoping to cut down on the turnovers a little bit too. The first few weeks here, I've been turning the ball over way too much. I typically don't throw a lot of picks when I play, but this franchise, for some reason, I've been throwing a lot of interceptions. Or I shouldn't say a lot of interceptions, but more than I typically do. So, hoping to cut some of that down. I'll just take what you give me, take the free first down. Of course, we've got some games going on right now. Tonight, I saw the Chiefs ended up beating the Bills, and of course, we have the Dallas-Arizona game. I know it was at halftime last time I looked, and it was, I believe it was 21-3 Arizona. So we'll see if Dallas can come back. I know it's going to be tough losing Dak, of course. You know, as unfortunate to see. I've got a few buddies that are Cowboys fans, so it sucks. But you know, you have a quarterback that has some experience in Andy Dalton. I don't think Andy Dalton was ever elite by any means, but he did put up some good numbers for a few years and you know, out where he was. So I think it's definitely possible that they might be able to turn the season around. Of course, you know, luckily for them, the division is pretty bad this year. So even if they lose tonight, I believe they're still in first. And, you know, they're probably the best team in their division right now, I'd say. But yeah, I haven't been able to stretch the ball downfield yet. They've been playing pretty soft zone coverages, so let's see if we can. That's a nice route by Smith there. Kind of using these kind of shorter passes as almost like runs. Sometimes I do that if I can't get the running game going. I'll kind of dink and dunk a little bit on earlier downs to kind of work, just kind of control the clock, you know, keep positive plays going and different things like that. And sometimes that'll help open up the passing game later. Ooh, I threw that before he got anywhere near me.
Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long.
Let's go, Heavy. Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? What you got, Heavy? What you got, Heavy? Wide. Give me some. Here we go.
Flushed out right.
Ooh, 52-yarder. I better punt here. Not quite comfortable punting or kicking a field goal quite that far away. Oh, that was a good corner coffin kick there, coffin corner kick. What I'm hoping to do, and I'll see as the season goes further if you guys are interested in me, after basically once the season's done, you know, if you kind of want to see me go through the draft process and basically kind of rebuild the team and play another season, like I said, we'll see as the season goes forward. But one thing I've been looking to do on here, as I've been scouting like draft picks and stuff, is to try to shore up the offensive line. I think that's, you know, not only Minnesota's biggest issue here on Madden, but I think that's probably one of their biggest issues in actual football as well, is their offensive line's just been struggling so badly over the last few years. A little worried about this. I'm going to bring some heat. I'm hoping Julio doesn't beat me deep, but perfect. Yeah, our offensive line just can't hold them blocks quite long enough. That's good coverage again. I'll give him that. Kind of wanted to step up in the pocket there, but I couldn't quite tell if he was going to hold that block or not. That's a good play. They keep calling that cover 2. I might have to start attacking that little zone between the corner and the safety there. If I start attacking that, I think I'll be pretty good. that might have been their first down so far today. So our defense has been holding them pretty well so far. Denebo's been pretty damn good too. I've moved him inside as well to try to get a little bit more pressure for my defensive tackles. That's been one of the unfortunate things with COVID going on this year, is losing Michael Pierce on here since Minnesota lost Linval Joseph that they've had over the last few years, and some of the other problems they've had, losing Evers and Griffin. It's just been kind of a tough year. Nice play. Yeah, that Chicago-Carolina game, that was a pretty close matchup. I saw that. Saw a few plays from that this week. I got to tell you, they remind me kind of Minnesota here a few years ago, when Minnesota's defense was really good, but their offense wasn't the best. But they were just kind of a scrappy, kind of scruffy team that, they weren't really that exceptional on offense, but they find a way to win. And I've always liked teams like that, so I'm kind of interested to see how far the Bears can go this year. I think they made a good choice, basically putting in Nick Foles. Kind of curious to see too what happens with Trubisky. Obviously he'll probably be gone in the off season. I doubt that he returns to be the backup, in Chicago. So I'm curious to see if anybody tries to trade for him or maybe make a move for him. Oh, good pressure. I'm kind of surprised that my corners are able to place tight enough coverage there on some of those blitzes to make him hold the ball that long. Kind of want to get to a point where I can take a shot, but these guys Atlanta's doing a really good job playing off of everybody, playing some soft coverages. That's really helped. That's one thing right there I wish they could fix in Madden. I understand he's getting hit hard, but I would make a bet that quite often in real in the actual NFL, Jefferson's catching that probably 9 out of 10 times. It just seems like on here he just drops it too often. Wow, he dropped that one too, huh? That, of course, has been a problem on Madden for a lot of years here. That's why I kind of wished I wish some of the other companies could come in and, make a football game. I understand that 2K is going to be coming out with a game in the upcoming years or something, but if I remember correctly, I read that it can't be a football simulation, so it can't be like it used to be. It has to be something like, like the NFL Blitz series or something like that. So I think that would help get these guys to fix some of their problems. Done a pretty good job holding in the holding back the running game. Actually, our defense, the passing defense, has been pretty good today too, for the most part. Now we're going to kind of drop back and play a little bit of a soft zone here. Wow, that's a good pass there. That was a good play on their part. Trying to change it up here a little bit and take a few shots down the field to get these guys to push back a bit, but there we go. Not quite sure what the corner or the linebacker was doing on that one. Even Rudolph wide open like that in the middle of the field. Another team I've been real impressed with this year, I don't know if any of you are using them in your franchise mode, but the Tennessee Titans. I've been really, really quite impressed with Tannehill again this year, and obviously Derrick Henry. You know, I think that guy's in a league of his own. I mean, he's just incredible. But they're just a team that they just seem so strong in so many areas. You know, the Tannehill, like I said, I think I saw Pro Football Focus. They put out a thing saying that since he took over, what was it, after the first couple of weeks last year, he's the second-rated quarterback in the league. I'm not sure who's first on that. I'd have to look. I'm going to guess it's probably Russell Wilson or Pat Mahomes. That'd be my two guesses. Maybe even Brady. It'd be one of those guys. But, you know, just the offense, defense, they're solid. You know, they're just like they're going to be a dangerous team for a lot of teams as we get down the road towards the playoffs. But like I said, I've been really impressed with Tannehill. I mean, I played quarterback back in the day, so that's why I talk about quarterbacks so much on here. But yeah, he's been real impressive. That's one team I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more as the season goes on. Of course, what is it? Is it Tennessee and Pittsburgh? Are they the only two undefeated teams right now, if I remember right? I'm going to kind of go to a dime look here since just a minute left here in the second quarter. These guys are going to have to throw the ball. Did he catch it? Or? Nope. See, just weird plays like that, you know. I'm pretty sure he catches that. You know, if we're playing actual NFL football. But I guess it's one of the few times it benefits me, right? Ooh, they've picked up Laquan Treadwell. All us Viking fans know that he was one of the bigger busts that they've had over the last few seasons. Drafted him in the first round, and he just ended up not doing a whole hell of a lot for him. I'm actually going to take a timeout here since we got, what, 47 seconds here.
As the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number one. Here's Sterling. Fourth time today.
Take another. I'm gonna send Thielen deep again since he's kind of pressed there. If he can beat this matchup, he might be able to drop it between the safety and the corner over there. There we go. Actually, the safety came up there and they kind of had that too deep shell that the safety pulled up.
Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they get it right at the 30-second mark of this first half.
Oh, I know what I want to call here.
For the 17 now, here's a first and 10.
54th Mike.
Receiver Thielen. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Second down and 5.
Figured we'd take one shot in the end zone. We'll just take the 3. Alrighty, so we're going into halftime up 19-0. I'll be right back with you guys. Alright guys, we're back, and I always try to kick first so I get the ball after halftime. That's always one of my favorite things to do, especially if you're down a little bit. Give you a chance to kind of work your way back. So far we got a pretty good game plan going here. I'm kind of hoping, obviously, to just kind of run the ball now, control the clock a little bit. Obviously, we're not going to sit on the ball, only up 19, because with Atlanta's talent, you know, they just need a couple things to go their way and they can get right back into the game. So try to control the clock a little bit here, run it. Maybe do a few kind of long handoffs, I call them, those kind of short, quick throws, and do that here.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's second and 7.
And that's, of course, one of the bad things, obviously, of bringing a blitz, because if I spot that and can get the ball out of my hand in time, you're going to get fried, get burned on the back end. So seeing that Eagles-Baltimore score down at the bottom. Just wondering if we have any Eagles fans in here and what's been going on with them this season. I haven't gotten a chance to watch a lot of Eagles games, but I've seen some people like on Twitter complaining about Carson Wentz a lot. I know a few years ago when he had that injury, you know, he was having a pretty good year. I know they talked about him potentially being an MVP candidate, but I'm just curious to see if you know, he's kind of regressed a bit, taking a step back, if they're just having a, you know, kind of an off year, maybe some injuries or, you know, lack of talent on the team. I know sometimes all those things can cause a lot of problems with the team, but we get a little pressure on that right side. Yep. Ah, Peterson had a chance to break that one. I'm going to try running it again here. This has actually been like the perfect drive for us. We've taken off, what, almost 5 minutes off the clock. So this is like the perfect drive here. He's the man, Rudolph. That's what I love about having a Rudolph on the field. I mean, in the red zone, his leaping ability and his hands are just top-notch for a tight end. We'll see kind of how this drive and maybe the next drive goes, but we might see old Nate Stanley come in from my Iowa Hawkeyes here. Might get him a few reps. But my fellow Viking fans, how are you guys feeling about the team this year? Obviously, it's a disappointing season, to say the least. But it's you know, just. You know, are you guys kind of upset with Kirk? Do you think Minnesota needs to move on from him? Do you think it's a coaching issue, a defensive issue, maybe with the GM, Rick Spielman? I'm always kind of curious to see what other Viking fans feel about the team. Sadly, I think it's a lot of different things with Minnesota, but you know, I'm not somebody who hates Cousins. I don't think Cousins is a bad quarterback. You know, is he an elite quarterback? No, Cousins isn't. You know, he's not a top 5 quarterback. I think he could have seasons where he is a top 5 quarterback, but you know, for the most part, I think he's kind of in that 8 to 15 range. That's just where I've always viewed him. I do think he was a better option than Case Keenum, even though I loved Case. I loved that season as you know, kind of a magical season when you think about it, with Bradford going down. But you know, obviously they're paying him a lot of money, and Minnesota they beat the Saints, but they beat the Saints twice and really haven't done too much else. You know, besides that, I guess they beat the Saints. This is Cousins' his third year. So the first year they didn't go to the playoffs. Second year they beat the Saints and they got smoked the next week by, of course, the Niners. But it's like I said, it's tough to say with Minnesota. It's tough to say where their problems are and everything. Like I said, I think there's some coaching issues too. Even though I do like wow, as a hit. Even though I do like Mike Zimmer. He's been a good coach for Minnesota. You know, there's just something weird with Minnesota where just when, like I said, when they face adversity, they crumble. And like I said, I almost want to say that's a coaching thing, not getting the players where they need to be. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say with Minnesota. I really don't know what the problems are. Obviously, their offensive line has a lot of issues that need to be ironed out and some other stuff. So hopefully Minnesota can figure that out, you know, after this season, and you know, hopefully fix their problems in the off season. We'll definitely have to see. Man, they left Rudolph wide open again. Wow. So you can tell I'm kind of in the groove here a little bit. I'm making really quick decisions, and they've all been pretty good this game. Now watch, I'll throw an interception on the next play or something, but I've been real happy with the game plan so far. There, I ran the ball specifically, so I couldn't throw a pick on that play. I do think Madison, though, is kind of a diamond in the rough, kind of, so to speak. I think he's a really good running back. I mean, obviously he doesn't quite have the talent as Delvin Cook, but he's somebody who's got good speed. He can knock you over. He can catch the ball. Just a solid running back, and I'm glad Minnesota has him as the backup. There's that fumble again when I tried to slide. Just never understood that on this game. Hit RB to cover the ball, and one of these days they're going to fix that in Madden. I have to tell you, I've been really happy with the defense today. I thought this was going to be a little more difficult than it's been. You know, like I said, you can't ever count Atlanta out with all the talent they have on the offensive side of the ball. Luckily, my corner was fast enough there to stay with the receiver and make the tackle, because It's one of the bad things, like I said, when you blitz, you always leave somebody open.
It's our time. It's our time.
This is a nice screen. Give them out. Fortunately, I got knocked off of balance there, so I wasn't able to get over and kind of make a play on that.
That's exactly what we've seen in him throughout his career. He's at his best. He can run it. He can catch it. He led the league in total yards from scrimmage in 2017. It's quite a weapon for the Atlanta Falcons. This defense continues to play. Yeah, they've been aggressive from the first snap and they control this ball game, but right now, if you're on the other side, no points so far.
Oh, did he knock it out? Wow. I'm not mad about that. Like I said, I brought some pressure. They're hoping to get after him, so that's completely understandable.
So they will get You're going slow clap on me. Not very nice, is it? No. They haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. That'll be taken about a yard deep.
All right, let's bring in old Nate. I think we're up enough to where I'm not too concerned, and there's only about 6 minutes, a little over 6. Let's bring in the old Hawkeye QB here.
Adam Thielen and the rest of the Vikings offense, they get set for their next possession. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. What they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
Damn, he was quick.
Good coverage that time on the linebacker, Deion Jones.
There's the AP we know. You can tell on here, old Peterson, he doesn't have quite the speed he used to, but he's still pretty effective. A pretty effective running back. Yeah, Jefferson's dropped, what, 3-4 passes today, I think? That's one of the unfortunate things with calling, of course, calling play action in Madden is, man, your chances of getting hit are pretty high. And that right there is one of the disadvantages of calling that kind of cover 2 shell there. You leave that whole middle of the field open, so if I get protection, I'm going to hit that throw every day.
take it down.
Leave things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. You're taking charge.
Yeah, some other another rookie that kind of got to make his appearance this week finally was Tua Tagaviola. I think I pronounced that right. I'm kind of excited to see what he's able to do. I didn't get to watch him a lot in college. I know when I watched him, I was pretty impressed with him. I still think I don't know if he'll start this year any games unless Fitzpatrick gets hurt. Of course, you never know with Ryan Fitzpatrick, I've always really liked Fitzpatrick as a quarterback. But of course, he's known for his turnovers, his kind of sporadic play. So I'm excited to see how he finishes the season, and of course, if they have Tua come in, maybe if the season gets to the point where it's there's no point in playing Ryan Fitzpatrick, just to kind of see how good he is. Because I really kind of wanted to see Minnesota maybe take a chance on him if he fell in the draft. Obviously, he didn't. He's just too talented to fall that far, where Minnesota was in their draft picks. But I'm curious to see how he obviously plays once given his chance. And then, of course, like we see here with Minnesota and me giving old Nate Stanley a try. I don't know if Stanley will ever get his chance. We'll see. But I wasn't a huge Nate Stanley fan, obviously, at Iowa. I think he was an all-right quarterback at times, kind of inconsistent. But I know he's got a big arm, and maybe if they work on a few things with him, maybe they can get him to the point where he could compete for a backup job and maybe even a starting job down the road. I think we're going to let the clock run down to 2 minutes here and take the field goal.
I think he just simply said enough of that. Okay, they've moved the ball well. We need to force the issue from our end, and that's exactly what he did.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. 36.
Unfortunately, I think this game, for you guys, the viewers, has probably been a pretty ho-hum, boring type of game. But it looks like we're going to go to 6-0 here. So right now we got a pretty good season going. Strong defense, pretty good play on the offensive side of the ball. Just got to figure out the drop situation every now and then, and the fumble situation. I don't know if we're going to be able to figure that out, but we're going to keep working on it. That's pretty interesting down there at the bottom on the scroller there. That game looks a lot like it was this week. Of course, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Indianapolis Colts. The Bengals got out to a big lead, and of course, Phillip Rivers brought the Colts back. Probably one of the reasons why they brought Phillip Rivers in, I'm guessing. I like Jacoby Brissett. I thought he did an all right job last year. Obviously he's not an elite quarterback, but just kind of a game manager type of guy. I definitely would take him in Minnesota, not as the starter, but as a solid backup or as a bridge quarterback. Of course, last year Phillip Rivers obviously struggled a bit with his, interceptions and taking a lot of chances. So obviously through their couple of losses they've had this season, I believe the Colts are 4-2. Oh, there we go. The Colts just took the lead down at the bottom. So very reminiscent to the actual game that happened this week. We'll have to see if they can hold it on or hold off the Burrow and the Bengals. Been really impressed with Joe Burrow, though. I mean, just in the few times I've watched him this season, he looks like the real deal. Like I said, we'll have to obviously see more out of him, but he's looking pretty good. Like they drafted the right guy. Obviously, they moved on, of course, from Andy Dalton, who's now in Dallas starting, because of the injury. But You know, I thought Dalton was always going to be a little bit better than he was. I'm not saying he was like a bust by any means, but I thought he was going to be a little bit better than he was. But you know, just always he's always been a solid option.
Check 45 to Mike. Check 45 to Mike. Let's go, baby. Need turnovers. Get that ball.
Alrighty, we'll just let the clock run here. I don't know if they'll try to... I'm kind of surprised they didn't call a timeout. I always try to, you know, kind of work out some of the kinks you had, even if you're losing, but looks like they're not going to use one of their 2 timeouts left. All right, I just want to thank you guys. If you guys are still watching, like I said, I've been appreciating all the love on the videos. I know that I say that every video, but I really do. All the new subscribers that I've had over the last month or so, all the likes on the videos, you know, the comments. Like I said, I always like reading your comments, see how your franchises are going, see how you're enjoying the videos so far. But if you guys are still watching, again, I want to thank you for all that. Like I said, all the love on the videos. Should have another couple of videos coming out tomorrow and Wednesday, hopefully, doing some of the other franchises, and of course, going forward in this franchise. And of course, we got Nate Stanley a couple of snaps, and hopefully we'll get him some more. Hopefully we'll be up like we were in this game and some more. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Have a great one. We'll see you next video.